Welcome to DC to Daylight. This is Aaron, amateur radio call sign, N6ACA. So this video is going to be about my recent trip to Costa Rica to operate as Tango India 7 / November 6 Alpha Charlie Alpha. I was on a trip with my wife for one of her work events, and we spent some time in Costa Rica doing lots of fun things. But I decided to bring along some amateur radio equipment and try to make some QSOs while I was there. From San Francisco, California in the United States to Liberia, Costa Rica, it's about a 6.5-hour flight. And all the equipment I brought fit in my carry-on backpack. Good morning, Costa Rica. So, got in last night with my wife and got busy with things regarding her work, and so this morning we're going to play a little radio. Got all the equipment that I was showing in one of the previous videos. Got the S6100 set up, and now so we're looking at 15 meters right now. Got the Elecraft AX2 antenna up right here, and just running at 4 watts. I'm able to hear some folks in Chile right now. I don't think I'm getting out though. This antenna is a super compromise, but it's the first thing. I got all my grid and call sign information set up and the FT8 program. So I'm enjoying a cup of tea, and we'll see how it goes. I've had to sync the time. I was off by a second and a quarter or something like that, and so I'm just seeing what signals I can hear. I can only hear Chile so far, but this is a real compromise antenna. If I don't get anything else, I might set up a dipole or end-fed random wave. I don't really have the ability to dump stuff off of my balcony here because it's completely enclosed with a screen, but it is non-metallic, so I should be able to get out through there. It's not like a Faraday cage. So sometimes when you need to connect up things on your balcony, you just use what's at hand. So here, there's really no place on this balcony to hook up anything, and so I've had to make do with dental floss that's allowed me to hook up something. Dental floss it's pretty good for really not super load bearing for like small wire antennas, and you can get it through different small areas, and it, when you're done with it, you just cut it loose. And finally my signal started getting out. Did some snorkeling today and some other activities. Didn't make any contacts yesterday. Solar conditions have been terrible. So I've got the best success so far has been using the end-fed random wave I bought from the Hawaiian Emergency Radio Club. So I've got that hooked up to my X6100 here, and then running it along my patio here, just up in the air and sort of wrapped back around. I can't put antennas outside right now. Too much wildlife too. Had deer and monkeys outside earlier, and the screens are locked down. So anyways, so made a contact with Brazil a few minutes ago, and made some contacts with Chile on 15 meters earlier, hoping to get into North America. I just was contacting some of the folks in my club, and I'm getting heard in Nevada on 10 meters FT8 right now. So we'll see if I can make some contacts, and then I'm going to shut down in probably half an hour and have dinner and do some events with my wife. So anyways, it's been fun so far, but it's pretty minimal amount of QSOs so far on this trip. 0 success on SSB, and pretty much everything on digital right now. But it's been fun. So I didn't play around with anything yesterday. I was too busy ATVing and doing awesome other things. And then there was lightning. So I'm not hearing anything on the bands right now. Just put up a N-fed random wave again. Wasn't hear anything yesterday. Like I said, I set up my radio after I got back at night and didn't hear anything on the bands with a little whip antenna. So I'm gonna play around a little bit, and then if not, then I'll check back this afternoon. Solar conditions have been awful. So I've had contacts with Ecuador and Colombia and a few other places I'm trying to remember so far, but no voice contacts yet, just all digital. So it's a little bit disappointing, but the solar conditions are sort of crap. I'm going to call CQ for a bit and see if I can get any local callers. I was able to do that with Colombia not too long ago, just 2 days ago. Just didn't see anything on the band, and it's calling CQ, and I got a response. Well, that's it for operating in Costa Rica. While I was on my flight, I had free Starlink. And that gave me the ability to log on my phone using the Whisper application to look through what was reported into PSKreporter for my FT8 operations. So, we went through and looked at a bunch of the stuff. So 40 meters was something I looked at, didn't have success. $30 meters, I had some success decoding, but not transmitting. $15 meters, there was a lot of stuff reported, but I had more activity on there than it shows. One of the cool things is being able to look at the mapping information. It shows you in green the stations that received your signal, in red where you have received them. So it's able to track if you have a full reciprocal ability to have a two-way path, or basically be able to do a QSO, whether or not you've actually done one. So you can see I was getting coverage on that flimsy antenna into the East Coast and Midwest, and even some bad decodes with the ZZ9, ZZZ, which is a fake decode. Usually I see those in the middle of the ocean. But looking at the spread on 20 meters, oh boy, there was some real coverage I was able to receive all over the world. I was able to get out in the Americas, which was not too bad. Wish I would have made more QSOs. But at 5 watts, that's about all I was going to get from a balcony antenna. It's the magic of low noise, or I'm sorry, low signal to noise protocol such as FT8. So on 30 meters, I guess we were hearing into North Africa. That's pretty cool. Well, I'm back home from paradise. Costa Rica was wonderful. We flew back last night, and now we're home. Got a day until I got to get back to work, and that's getting back to reality sucks. So what did I learn on this trip? I wish I had more power with me. I should have brought either an external battery that would have done more power. I was able to squeeze out about 8 watts total. I couldn't get the full 10 watts out of the radio. I was mainly getting 5 watts. So if I were to have a better 12 volt power supply, or a battery. That would have been great. The other thing I learned is I'm super glad I brought 3 antennas. Only 1 out of 3 antennas was able to get me heard. So being prepared that way was super helpful. Having more time would be great to operate, but that wasn't really the intent of this trip. The operating in spare time was really where it was at. I wish I would have been able to make more QSOs. I'm going to do some analysis of the PSKreporter data from the time I was operating overseas. But, you know, you sort of get the luck of the draw with the location that you're at and the solar activity at the time. I was really only successful on 10, 20, and 15 meters. And even with that, local to Central America. I was hoping to get a little bit further, possibly contact some of my club members, and maybe even get some SSB contacts. But that wasn't in the works for what was going to happen on this trip. So I'm really happy that I actually got a chance to operate overseas, outside the United States, and go through that whole process. So I just put in my request for a Logbook of the World certificate to be able to upload my logs into Logbook of the World, and I'll upload my logs into QRZ shortly, and probably into Club Log as well. But I had a great time, and I'm hoping to operate from Costa Rica at some point in the next few years. I'd like to go back. We had a wonderful time on vacation there, and I'm going to include a few highlights from our trip after this. But again, this is Tango India 7 stroke November 6 Alpha Charlie Alpha saying, hey, 73 and Pura Vida. As I've gotten more active, I've taken amateur radio on as a part of my lifestyle. So whether I'm camping or traveling or doing any type of activity, when I've got some free time or the ability to put up an antenna and pop out a radio, I bring equipment with me and try to prepare so that I'm ready to make some QSOs when I've got some spare time. In our time in the northwest area of Costa Rica, we were able to see lots of different types of wildlife, including iguanas, monkeys, lesser anteaters, tons of different types of fish, sea turtles, crocodiles, and just so many incredibly diverse types of wildlife in the sea and in the sky and on the land.